Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nurse Lalies and I am back with another video. Today we are talking about how to take care of yourself during pregnancy. So if you're pregnant or you are planning to fall pregnant in the future, then I suggest you stick around and watch this video till the end. If it is your first time here, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Now, if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and please click on the notification bell so that you can be notified every time when I post a video. Without any further ado, let's get on to this video. So in this video, I will be discussing the following things, and please don't mind me looking down because I will keep referring to my notes. But the things that I'll be talking about in this video, I will talk about your diet, exercise, lifestyle habits, medications, and danger signs. So those are the things that I'm going to discuss in this video, and how you as a pregnant woman can take care of yourself with regards to these things that I mentioned. So let's go on to the first one, which is your diet. So as a pregnant woman, what kind of diet do you want to have? So it's quite a few things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to your diet in pregnancy. And really, if you stick to the things that I'm going to talk about, they will help you a lot during your pregnancy. All right, so let's talk about a low fat diet. So you want to make sure that you're having a low fat or a diet that has low spices. And this is because women who are pregnant, they struggle a lot with heartburn, and the more fatty or spicier your diet is, the more your stomach will have to secrete a lot of acid to digest that fat, and that will result in you having heartburn. Also because in pregnancy, that sphincter that connects, or that opening that connects your esophagus and your stomach, it becomes weakened in pregnancy because of the pressure on your abdomen of your growing tummy. So it becomes weakened, and then what happens is that it's easier for food to go back into your esophagus, or you are more at risk of having regurgitation. So if you are eating this diet that's high in fat, and now you're having this acid that's being secreted by your stomach, if you are having now this what can I call it, this weakened muscle that's connecting your esophagus and your stomach, then it will be easier for the food that is in your stomach to back up into your esophagus, and it will cause you to have that heartburn or that burning feeling right here in your chest. So you want to make sure that you avoid such foods that are high in fat, high in spices. And those would be things like your fried foods, your fried chips, fried chicken, anything that's fried, and anything that has a lot of fat, like the fat that you find in your meats, like in your red meat, you want to make sure that you avoid such. And then the other thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to have a low salt diet. So salt increases your blood pressure. So if you're having a lot of salt in your diet, it can put you at risk of having a high blood pressure. And already if you are pregnant, you are at risk of having high blood pressure in pregnancy. So definitely you want to avoid a lot of salt in your diet or a lot of spices. And then another thing to keep in mind when you're pregnant is that you don't want to eat large meals. So you want to have more frequent, lighter meals throughout the day. So instead of having 3 big meals throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, supper, you want to decrease the portion of your meals. Perhaps you can have 5 lighter meals for the whole day instead of 3 big meals. And why do you want to do this? Women that are pregnant, some struggle with vomiting in the first 3 months, nausea and vomiting. And some women actually struggle with this thing throughout their pregnancy, to the point that they have to change their whole diet. So if you are having heavy meals, especially like your pap, you might want to decrease on your meals, because you'll find that now you can't eat a lot of the things that you are used to eating, because you're having such big meals. You're used to having these big meals. You might have to like downsize your meals, maybe just have oats for breakfast and have a snack in between breakfast and lunch. Maybe an energy bar or fruit. Maybe you can have a light sandwich for lunch. And then maybe for your supper you can have a portion of protein, portion of vegetables, and less carbohydrates, less starch that you would find like in your paps and in your heavy rice. You just want to make your food portions smaller so that you can work on decreasing that nausea and that vomiting that you will struggle with if you are pregnant, if you're early pregnant, or throughout your whole pregnancy for some women. And you want your diet to be balanced. You want to have each of the food groups in your diet or in your food. As I mentioned before in my previous point, you want to make sure you have your proteins, you want to make sure you have your fruits, your vegetables. You want to have some starch, but not too much starch. And then another thing that's very, very important that I want to mention here in your balanced diet, you need to make sure that you have foods that are rich in iron. Right now, iron is in a substance which is in your blood cells, which is called yeah, so iron makes up the hemoglobin in your red blood cells. So you need that hemoglobin because it transports oxygen around your body in your red blood cells. If you have low iron or iron deficiency, what can happen is that you will have low hemoglobin in your red blood cells and your oxygen carrying capacity may be decreased. So when you are pregnant, you want to ensure that you have a lot of red blood cells. You want to make sure that your hemoglobin or your HB is high, because when you are pregnant, you need to share your blood with your baby, right? And if you're having a low hemoglobin or a low HB, then that means you have anemia, and you don't want to have anemia while you are in pregnancy or while you are pregnant, because you will actually need a lot of blood when you go and deliver. And if you get into labor and delivery and you already have a low HB or anemia, if it happens that you lose a lot of blood in labor, then you are going to be at risk of your hemoglobin dropping, and then you will be having something which is called postpartum hemorrhage. And postpartum hemorrhage is something that is very, very dangerous. It's one of the most important and most dangerous complications that you can have while giving birth, because you could actually bleed to death. And already, if you are going into labor with a low HB, with low oxygen carrying capacity of your blood, then when you give birth, you can actually lose so much blood to the point that it cannot be recovered. And unfortunately, some maternal deaths or mothers dying while giving birth can be attributed to low HB or anemia. And then if they bleed too much in pregnancy, we don't want that. So make sure that you are eating foods that are high in iron, because most of the anemia that has been found in pregnant women, actually in most people, is because of iron deficiency anemia. So it's because you don't have enough iron. So some foods that you can eat to increase your iron, it's things like your meats, your red meat, your poultry, which is your chicken, your fish, pork, and then you can also find iron in your beans. You can also find iron in your green leafy vegetables like your spinach, and also in your organ meats like your livers and your kidney meats. You have those meats have a lot of iron. So when it comes to your diet, if you can just increase those kind of things in your diet to help the medications, which is the second point that I want to get into now when it comes to these iron rich foods and increasing your HB. So when you are pregnant, you also take supplements like your iron supplements, you take your folic acid, you take calcium, and you can also take your magnesium. So your iron, you are taking it to increase your red blood cells, right? To increase your HB. And it's called ferrous sulfate. That's the one that we have in public. It's your ferrous sulfate. Then you'll also be taking folic acid. In the first 3 months of pregnancy, your folic acid will help with forming like the neural tube of your baby, which is your baby's spine in the first 3 months of pregnancy. It will help to prevent some spinal abnormalities. And then it also helps with increasing your HB as well, because there's another type of anemia that is caused by folic acid deficiency. And then another supplement that you will take when you are pregnant is calcium. Calcium will help to prevent complications that you can have if you are having a high blood pressure, like preeclampsia. I spoke about this in one of my very earliest videos, my video on preparing for pregnancy. I will link it up somewhere here and you can watch that video and it will talk more about this. So that's your calcium. And then your calcium obviously would also help with strong bones. And you do need this because you'll be carrying a lot of weight when you're pregnant with your growing baby. Then another important supplement that you will take when you are pregnant is magnesium. And your magnesium can go with your calcium because some women experience cramps in their legs when they are pregnant. And magnesium and your calcium will help with those cramps. So those are the vitamins and the minerals that you will be taking when you are pregnant. So it's very important for you to actually take it seriously. Take these vitamins seriously because they are really so important, especially your iron. So when you are pregnant, at your first visit of pregnancy, either if you go to your midwife or you go to a clinic, even if you go to a gynecologist, your blood will be taken and they will check for your HB. So if you have anemia early on in your pregnancy, you'll be given these supplements to try and increase your iron levels so that you don't have anemia, especially towards the end of your pregnancy when you're about to deliver. So those are the minerals and the supplements that you want to ensure that you are taking when you are pregnant. Let me go on to my next point about diet. You want to make sure that you are eating whole grains, whole grain bread, brown rice, any foods that have whole grains so that you can help your digestive system. A lot of women when they are pregnant, because of the hormones in their body, they struggle with constipation. So eating your whole grains, which are found in your brown breads, which are found in your cereals, your all bran, that will help with the movement of food through your digestive system and will help you to have less constipation. And then we also want to go on to that mineral that is very important that I spoke about in my video on hormonal contraceptives. Actually, let me go and fetch this mineral so that y'all can see it. So that very important mineral for you is water. Water. Guys, y'all need to drink water, okay? All right. So why do you want to drink water when you are pregnant? In fact, you should drink water whether you are pregnant or not. You need to drink water. But in pregnancy, water will help with your constipation, dehydration. What else? And since women that are pregnant struggle a lot with nausea and vomiting, when you are vomiting, you're losing a lot of minerals. So you want to make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. The more you lose water and minerals when you are vomiting, the more you replenish by drinking more water. And actually you want to even take it a notch up. So don't just drink water alone, but if you are really struggling with a lot of vomiting, you want to make yourself a sugar salt solution. And how do you make a sugar salt solution? Alright, so you want to take your 1 liter of water and you want to add 8 teaspoons of sugar and a half a teaspoon of salt. So this sugar salt solution will help you to replenish all of the water and the minerals. So what happens with the sugar and the salt is that it will help to draw the water into your bloodstream. So you want to make sure that you are drinking a lot of water, and if you are particularly struggling with nausea and vomiting, then just make sure you have that sugar and salt solution. After every time that you vomit, you want to replenish those minerals and that water by drinking your sugar salt solution. And you don't want to eat raw or uncooked food, especially meat, because you can get food poisoning from that, and you don't want to have that if you are pregnant. And also you want to stay away from your raw seafood like your sushi, your fish, some deli meats like your cold meats. You want to stay away from those things to avoid having food poisoning. All right, so that's all about the diet. So now let's go on to the second thing that I said I would talk about, which is your physical activity or exercise. All right, so if you are a person that was like super active, you maybe play a certain sport, or you went to the gym before you were pregnant, or you liked like running or swimming, you can still continue to do those things when you are pregnant. But the principles to remember when it comes to exercise in pregnancy, you don't want to strain yourself. You want to be able to do that exercise and hold a conversation. So you don't want to do any exercises where you will be breathless. You don't want to do any exercises where there is a risk of falling, because if you fall, you can actually hurt the baby, right? And you also don't want to do exercises that are going to strain you too much, right? And you don't want to exercise in hot weather. So you can still do your exercises for as long as you are comfortable. Once you start feeling uncomfortable when doing certain exercises, then it means that you need to stop doing those exercises, right? But it is good to exercise while you are pregnant because it comes with many benefits. And some of the benefits that you will have from exercising in pregnancy, it will relieve aches and pains that you have. Now, pregnant women have a lot of aches and pains, whether it's backache, it's cramps in the leg, I feel like pregnant women always have aches somewhere. So pregnant women will always be having aches somewhere in their body. So exercising will really help you to stretch your muscles and to relieve those aches and those pains that you have when you are pregnant. And then the second benefit of exercise in pregnancy is that it will improve your circulation. So when you are exercising, you need to breathe in more oxygen, and that will help more oxygen to go to your baby. And then also, if you're exercising a lot, it will also improve the circulation of blood in your legs. Exercise reduces stress. Exercise increases those feel-good hormones in your body, like your serotonin and your endorphins that make you feel good, and they increase your mood, because some women really struggle with their moods and their mental state when they are pregnant because of the hormones that are circulating related to pregnancy. They can have some like depressant effect on a woman. That's why when you're on your period, you are more moody, or when you are pregnant, you are moody because of your estrogen. And this also happens when you are on contraceptives and you're having a high level of the hormones, estrogen and progesterone. So women who are on contraceptives, who are pregnant, or who are on their period, they are more moody. So it's because of those hormones that are keeping your pregnancy going. So exercise will help to increase the feel-good hormones so that you can feel better and have a lighter mood. Exercise will reduce back pain. It will reduce swelling in your legs, and it will increase your energy and improve your sleep. And then also it will help you to be able to handle that physical stress of giving birth. Another important thing as well is that if you are used to exercising during pregnancy, then after you give birth, it will also be easier for you to shed off that pregnancy weight and go back to your normal weight. So exercise is very important. I really encourage exercise during pregnancy, running, swimming, yoga. You want to continue with those exercises, but keep in mind those principles that I mentioned. Comfort, you don't want to strain yourself, you don't want to have a risk of falling. Yeah, so that's it when it comes to exercise in pregnancy. What about your lifestyle habits? Things like smoking, cigarettes, smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol. Can you still do those things when you are pregnant? And the answer is a big fat no. So if you drink alcohol, you want to make sure that you stop the moment you realize that you are pregnant. If you're smoking, you want to stop the moment that you realize that you are pregnant, because these substances can actually affect your baby. And I also spoke about this a lot in my videos on preparing for pregnancy that I will link up here. So alcohol, it can cause your baby to be born with something that is called fetal alcohol syndrome, right? Where your baby, as they grow, they will have mental and growth retardation. So that means that your child might now struggle in school because of the mental retardation. They will be a bit slower than other children when it comes to learning, when it comes to speech, and then also when it comes to their growth, they might not grow so well because of that growth retardation. And then they might also have some facial defects, so abnormalities here in the face. You might put yourself at an increased risk of having miscarriages or giving birth to a stillborn. And also your baby can be low birth weight, and if they're low birth weight, they might continue with that throughout their life, throughout childhood, where now they're also having those the growth retardation. So you really want to stay away from alcohol. As you've heard, there's just so many things that are associated with them. So you really want to think long term for the future of your child. When your child goes to school, you don't want to do anything that might put them at risk of having difficulties later on in their life, or being born with abnormalities, or increasing your risk of having a stillborn or miscarriage, things like that. So when it comes to your illicit drugs like your cocaines, your dacha, your marijuana, it's also more or less like the same things that can happen, like your child not growing so well, your miscarriage, your giving birth preterm when your baby is not yet fully developed. So you really just want to make sure that you stop these substances. And if you are struggling with stopping, there are support groups to attend. If you're struggling with smoking, if you're struggling with drinking alcohol. And then something else that you want to stay away from when you are pregnant is caffeine. Caffeine in your coffees, in your teas, in your drinks. Caffeine, it decreases the absorption of iron it decreases the absorption of iron, right? And when you are pregnant, you really need a lot of iron, because as I mentioned before, you need iron to increase your red blood cells and your HB. So you want to stay away from tea, coffee, energy drinks that have caffeine, because now they will cause your iron to not be absorbed properly by your gut from the food that you eat or from the supplements that you are taking to increase your iron. And also people who drink a lot of caffeine, they will have difficulty sleeping, have things like headaches, and also caffeine also contributes to heartburn. So as a pregnant woman, you want to make sure that you stay away from caffeine. And then what about medication? So when you are pregnant, it's very, very important to ensure that you do not just take any medication over the counter from your friends, from whoever. When you are pregnant, you want to stay away from medications that you don't know the effects that they can have on your growing baby. So some medications are teratogenic, which means that they can harm your growing baby. So some medications can actually harm your growing baby. They can stop the growth of the baby and the baby might not grow so well, or these medications may put your child at risk of having birth abnormalities, right? So if you are someone that is taking chronic medication, you really just want to make sure that as soon as you find out that you are pregnant, you go and consult with your nurse or with your doctor, with your midwife, so that they can be able to look at the medication that you are taking. And if you need to change from the medication that you are taking currently, they can be able to change you to something else that will be safe for use during pregnancy. So these are people who are on antidepressants, people who are on high blood pressure medication, people who are epileptic. They want to make sure that they book early, and so that their medication can be reviewed to check if they are safe for the baby. And also your antibiotics. Some antibiotics, they can affect the baby, so you just need to make sure that if you are going to be getting some antibiotics, you do ask if those antibiotics will not affect your baby. So you do need to make sure that you tell your healthcare provider, if you went to a doctor or a nurse, tell them that you are pregnant, so that they can be able to prescribe you something that won't affect the baby. And also be wary of taking medications over the counter. If you are going to be taking medications over the counter, you need to consult with the pharmacist, let them know you are pregnant, and don't take any medication if you are not sure, because those medications might affect your baby. And then also, I just wanted to re-emphasize on the danger signs in this video. I did do a video on danger signs, and I will link it up here, and I will really encourage you to go to that video and watch it. It will have more detail. But when you are pregnant, I just want to re-emphasize the danger signs in pregnancy, and what are the things that you need to look out for when you are early pregnant and throughout the rest of your pregnancy. And if you are having any of these things, you want to make sure that you go straight to your hospital, or call your doctor or call your midwife, let them know about them. But a danger sign is an emergency, and it means that you need to go straight to your hospital. So danger signs are things like a severe headache, bleeding from your vagina, baby is not moving like your baby is used to moving, or you are having no fetal movements at all. So it's decreased fetal movements or absent fetal movements. Water coming out of your vagina, a large gush of water coming out of your vagina, severe pains in your abdomen. What else am I missing? So those are the danger signs. If any of those things happen to you, you want to make sure that you go straight to the hospital. You don't go to your clinic, you go straight to the hospital, because those are danger signs in pregnancy, and they might be telling you that you are having a complication. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I really just want to encourage you pregnant ladies to take care of yourself when you are pregnant. You will really help yourself to have a smoother pregnancy journey if you keep in mind the things that I spoke about in this video. You might decrease your risk of having complications with your pregnancy, and you might just feel better. You might feel better if you do think about these things and you implement them. So yeah, pregnancy is a wonderful journey. You really just want to enjoy it, and the less complications you have, the better. So that's all I wanted to speak about today. If you have any questions, please do drop your questions in the comment section, and I will answer them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and click on your notification bell. So I will be seeing you in my next video. And what will my next video be about this time? Let me see. In my next video, I'm going to talk about, actually in my next video, I'm going to be comparing natural birth versus cesarean section. So you definitely want to make sure that you have your notification bells on so that you can be able to know when I post that video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Bye.